Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome, welcome. I am Haloran, a caster for Chair League. I will be your master of ceremonies for the evening, along with the Mackin boy himself, McIntyre. How's it going, man?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Just ready to do some sick casting tonight. I'm excited. This is
Oh,
my
we're gonna.
first ever dual cast with another human being, so I'm looking forward to it.
I'm honored to be the first, man. We're gonna have a lot of fun. We got a couple of Chair League games. We're gonna have a Chair League game first. We're gonna see what PPL games we can jump into, and then at 9 Pacific, midnight Eastern, we'll have another Chair League game.
Sick.
First one's gonna be Better Than Yesterday versus Heroes of the Frat. It's gonna be cool.
The first one's better than yesterday, or is the team name better than yesterday?
Well, it's
Team
gonna be
names-
pretty good.
There you go.
The
No,
team-
the team name is better than yesterday. You said the first one's better than yesterday.
Oh, I got
As
you.
if this
The-
game was better than yesterday's game. I just wanted to clarify that. So team better than yesterday.
Team Better Than Yesterday, going up against the Heroes of the Frat.
Awesome.
Let
I'm
me
a
get
little
the-
confused there.
I got you. Hey, Bubble, how's it going, everybody? Folks in the chat. Heard a follow there. Steinkopf, thanks for following. Let me get the draft links to these captains. I put the ops link in the lobby. Did you get that?
Let me just see really quick.
I can send it to you real quick too.
If you just message me on Skype.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Got you, Mackin boy himself. I'm excited for this.
Should be good. I'm like, hopefully I won't scream too loud. I gotta figure out my, casting style. So
Nah,
it
we
shouldn't
got
take me
this, man.
too long. I'll pick up
We
on
got
it pretty
this.
quick.
We got this, man. All right, so let me send that to you.
Is it the top drafter that I'm looking at?
Yeah. Chair League automatically creates the drafts, makes our
Oh.
lives easier through top drafters. So
Do I have to have Java or something? Maybe I
I
can this up in another
think
browser.
so.
It's not working in Chrome for me right now. It's fine.
Hmm.
Firefox never fails.
Never. DKSCH. Thanks for the file. I don't even know how to begin to say that one. But appreciate the follow all the same.
I might have to hop on to your stream to look at it. I don't know. I'm getting a black screen right now.
Oh, they're not ready yet.
Oh,
So at the
okay.
top you should if it should be okay
I
for you. At the
see
top you'll see like waiting for the teams. Once
Yeah.
they ready up, then we'll see them. But yeah, Veracon, thanks for the follow as well.
Too excited.
You're
Pretty excited.
quieter, so let me up you a little bit.
So yeah, I need to probably do the same.
All right. Liz NYC, thanks for the follow as well. Cool. So yeah, they haven't clicked ready yet. It's gonna be on Infernal Shrines. Maybe it just doesn't talk in the mic. Oh, just so you know, Mac, I use a 30-second delay when I cast Chair League.
Okay.
That's long enough to like hold the integrity of the game while also being able to interact. So, do you see the draft now? It just started.
Yeah. Let me.
right.
I'm gonna end my stream. I gotta restart my stream. I don't have a long enough delay. Give me a sec.
All right. No,
It won't affect you. It'll just affect my viewers. Yeah. That's a good idea, though. Something I've never thought about.
no problem.
Cool. So yeah, I see the draft now.
Cool. Draft is underway. Better than yesterday, wasting no time in banning out Sylvanas. This is a hero that's an absolute menace on a map like Infernal Shrines, locking down those structures. During the Punisher phase is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, having no building attacking your team can be problematic. And the Zagar ban is kind of standard ban. Does the exact same thing to push out. Kerrigan first pick. What do you think of that?
It might be a shout out to you, Mackin boy, to be honest. The Zagara ban makes a lot of sense. She did get a nerf. Not too, like in this last patch. I still think she's top tier, though. I don't think that took too much out of her. The Kerrigan pick is huge on this map, and you know that better than anybody.
Yeah, her Q build is incredible on the shrines. Just being able to jump to the little skeletons and get the heal. It's very difficult to lock her down, and the sustain that build kind of brings is great.
Mm.
Good follow up picks from Heroes of the Frat. I think the Zul is great on Infernal Shrines, a nice split pressure, and we're going to have the Li Ming to kind of orb and maybe steal some of those skeletons away from Kerrigan.
Yeah, orb definitely can be used in that capacity. Triumvirate, the orb build. There's a couple of different viable options. You can go Calamity as well at 7 and try to steal those away. Definitely help close out some of those team fights. And if they do have Zul roam across the map or around the map, having that burst damage is a nice little tool to have in your kit, especially going.
She got a really good follow up on Zul too. If he roots a target, Li Ming kind of gets an easy combo, with her magic missile and orb. So I really like that kind of synergy there as well. ETC picked up on better than yesterday. That follow CC from his power slide makes Kerrigan's combo so easy, and makes Kerrigan's life just a lot easier. She almost can't miss her combo this way. So those two together are really, really good. I'd like to see damage picked up right now. Maybe kind of heavy burst. Could see a Greymane here, or they could just opt to go the Uther support route to make sure they have the D shield for the ETC and Kerrigan. I'm not sure what you're kind of thinking they might go.
I mean, those are definitely both viable options. A quick shout out to Lord Mudkip and the T-Revs. Hello. They opted to go for Leoric. I agree with you. I thought Uther would have been a really strong way to go, or Ariel. That's a support that's definitely shot up the ranks. But I mean, it's kind of hard to go wrong at this point for better than yesterday. You got ETC and Kerrigan. Power Slide in the Kerrigan combo can end anybody's day, just about.
And the Uther ban coming out from Heroes of the Frat again. We were just talking about it. A nice ban. Make sure they don't get it. And the Tychus to respond to that Leoric pick. Tychus does great against Leoric. He has a hard time getting to him. So banning that out is going to enable this double tank for better than yesterday. So I really like both bans from both of these teams. We'll see where Heroes of the Frat wants to go from here. I don't think they need to take a tank just yet. They could take one of their tanks and hold their last pick for kind of a flex double tank, but considering they already have a melee, I think we probably are going to see the tank last pick up a range and a support here.
I like the idea of, I mean, them taking Vala, that's a smart choice against Double Warrior. With only your tank and support to take last, it's kind of hard to, let's save our last pick for the counter pick. They've kind of boxed themselves in a little bit of a corner there, but they have some high-powered options, so it's not like they gave up too much to have that counter ability. I'm actually surprised that Better Than Yesterday went for Leoric that early in a draft. It's not really a hero that's too highly prioritized. I'm wondering if they could have gotten Uther or like someone else more high priority as far as damage goes, and then taken Leoric and kind of hidden that. So a giant killer hero was not picked up for Heroes of the Frat.
I totally agree with you there. Heroes of the Frat, though, is going to take that Vala. She did just get buffed this patch. I believe it's a buff. Some say it's a nerf, but her overall damage is going to be a bit higher. So she has a good time against these two kind of double tank, this Leo ETC. She'll be able to run around them. And the Brightwing, obviously, just a nice sustain. But the Ariel is going to be picked up from Better Than Yesterday. We kind of talked about this with the Uther, Ariel. Both really good with the Kerrigan, crystallizing her when she goes in and she's in danger. So a good pick, and Kel'Thas running, ending this composition out. Good AoE damage on the point. Good follow-up for the Kerrigan ETC. Very standard comp that we've seen plenty of times before.
Yeah, the Kel'Thas pickup I think is really sound on a map like Infernal Shrines. There stands to be close confined areas. Chain bombs are a thing and definitely get you value there. It's going to be up to Heroes of the Storm to really position themselves properly to try to mitigate that. But at the same time, they need to huddle together to get the passive healing out of Brightwing. So I think that choice after seeing the Brightwing pickup is really smart from Better Than Yesterday.
Yeah, just going to be looking, I think, to just knock someone out really quickly. Brightwing doesn't have really big burst heals, so that trickling heal from her passive is going to have a really hard time against Kerrigan ETC Kel'Thas. Joanna is a great tank that maybe has enough health in her health pool to survive this burst coming out of Better Than Yesterday, so I like that as a last pick. Also, her passive keeping her from CC we might see Brightwing take cleanse here, but if she doesn't, Joanna kind of provides herself her own cleanse with her passive. So I really like that. It's gonna come down to whether or not Heroes of the Frat can get damage onto Better Than Yesterday before they hard engage. I think if Better Than Yesterday goes into these fights healthy, it'll be very hard for Heroes of the Frat to win the team fight. So we'll see how it pans out. I'm not sure what are you feeling about the two compositions?
I completely agree with you. I mean, when you have two heroes like ETC and Kerrigan, and then you have Ariel to throw down the Crystal Ages if things start to go south, you have all the tools necessary to win a team fight. I feel like Heroes of the Frat are going to have to try to end these team fights before they even really start. Get ganks and rotations before the Shrine phase starts. Try to avoid the 5v5 type of scenario, and just whatever burst they can pull together with this composition. I think all eyes are going to be on Li Ming for that. Mm-hmm. If they can close out Kerrigan or Kael'thas or force the early Crystal Ages, that's going to be their best bet at winning team fights.
For sure. I think another underdog here will be the Brightwing. If she does decide to go Emerald Wind, a good Emerald Wind against Better Than Yesterday's composition can just throw them in all sorts of direction and potentially provide enough time for this Vala Li Ming to really put that damage out and maybe get that reset that they're looking for to win the team fight quickly. So
we're going to find out. We're loading into the game now. I was going to ask you, do you think that Blink Heal or Emerald Wind would be the way to go? I think there's something of an argument for both. Emerald Wind would definitely kind of put the E-brake on Power Slide, Kerrigan jumping in and whatnot. But if this becomes a more sustained progression of events, do they have the sustain to keep three relatively squishy heroes alive?
It's hard to say. For me, Blink Heal is not going to get a lot of value here. Blink Healing into Kerrigan, ETC, Kael'thas is kind of insane. You're putting yourself out there just to provide a small heal. Most of these fights, I think, are going to be decided, like I said, within the window of Emerald Wind, if they kind of are decided that way, right? It's either Emerald Wind or bust at this point for me. Blink Heal would buy you maybe a second or two, but potentially puts Brightwing's neck out there. And as you see here, the level 1 talent for the range on her passive, Brightwing, so it's kind of showing that she might be headed in that direction to go the Emerald Wind build.
That's that pro level insight. We're about to find out. On the left side, we got Better Than Yesterday. You're gonna have Zombie Crystal on the Orc, Eric on Ariel, Tonix on Kael'thas, Marit's playing Kerrigan, and Zyptotech is on ETC.
On that new Kerrigan skin as well.
Nice.
I really like that. And then on the red team, we're gonna have Marvin on Joanna, Burdicus on Li Ming, Balanan on Brightwing, Kyle C. Rat on Vala, and I'm not sure of the Zul's name, Satat on Zul. So both teams are going to be just kind of coming up to the wave. They want to get that wave clear down for the first rotation. It looks like they're about even on damage, but ETC is on his mount first. So blue team has the rotation. They're ahead of the red team, so they're going to try to push them off of this wave now.
Yeah, both teams committing to the 1-4 style. I do think that overall this favors Better Than Yesterday, if anything, just by virtue that Balanan on Brightwing is going to be a hair or two behind. So if that engage is able to get in there before Brightwing is able to make themselves apparent, that could be a pretty bad time. You're going to see Zul show up for the moment before rotate back up top.
Maybe just trying to pick up some experience there before he heads to the top lane, but red team is not in a terrible place. Blue team hasn't really gotten to their ammunition because the Joanna is catching the wave before it catches the wall. No ammunition's being wasted, so we're seeing really any gains here from either team. It's just kind of a stalemate, maybe waiting until the shrine spawns. Neither team's, especially the blue team, I think in this case, is not really pushing their wave clear advantage on the red team. I would like to see them kind of push into them once they clear this wave to keep them from just rotating and clearing it, but they do get a wave of XP lead here, as you guys just saw there. So now they're going to be ahead in experience, especially if they clear out this middle lane. And we'll probably see Zul come down for the red team and start double soaking mid to bot. So we'll see if blue team kind of respects that and goes and ganks it, or sends all 5 to the top shrine to contest.
First shrine is underway. It's already 10-3. Zombie Chris on Leoric. Ahead of the party for better than yesterday. Zype does power slide in. The engagement is not there. Arik is in position with a ton of hope with which to keep their team alive. Merritt on Kerrigan doing a good job. Jumping around, getting value out of that Kerrigan pickup. Zype is just positioning to see if they can jump on somebody.
And as you can see, the Li Ming throwing the orbs out. We'll see if she picks up Trivium at 4 or if she opts to go for the dominance talent for the sustain. I'm just trying their best to pick up skeletons here, but blue team's kind of drafted a team that's designed to do this objective really well. So red team hopefully will gain some advantage from the Zul double soaking and defend this pretty easily with the Joanna Li Ming Vala. It's a lot of range damage. If Joanna pulls the boss behind this wall, they will at most lose this wall, but I don't think that they'll lose anything else. So a good passive there out of the Joanna as well. And like I said, this damage from the red team is just going to be too much for the boss. They'll be able to quickly defend it, and as I said before, the Zul is going to be double soaking during all this. So about even XP, even though they are a wall down.
Right.
Not a terrible first shrine. Usually when you're that Kerrigan comp, you want to gain a lead from your first shrine, and in this case, they didn't get really much out of it. So good job from red. Obviously a good job from the blue team to win the shrine. So we're still at about an even game. No team is ahead, no team is behind. And we'll see where it goes from here. Obviously, the blue team finding a pick on Zul, really good here. They might look to steal a camp. They could do their own camp. We'll see what they do with this kind of pick advantage, man advantage, I guess you could say.
Yeah, one thing that I've noticed from better than yesterday so far, they definitely have the early game composition with ETC and Kerrigan, but they haven't really capitalized on it too much. They caught Zul rotating from mid to bot, or bot to mid, feeling like on the left side of the map that was going to be okay, not so much. Yeah. But I feel like better than yesterday, what they need to do is just really establish the early to mid game, get ahead and experience enough. Because if they continue at this pace, once Heroes of the Frat starts to get to like their heroics, their 13s and 16s, and Zul gets more sustained, they're going to find themselves having a much tougher time winning these team fights.
And like I said at the beginning, when Brightwing gets that Emerald win, that will be, you know, a deciding factor for me in a lot of these team fights. Jumping onto the Zul and getting all of that damage out might not be a possibility once that talent comes out. Or even with this new Reign of Vengeance, we're going to have 2 Reign of Vengeances connecting when they engage. So this window to engage for free is going to be taken away pretty soon. And we even see here Brightwing taking Cleanse at 7 to kind of counter that ETC Kerrigan slide. So I like that heads up play from Brightwing. Sometimes you have to sacrifice that shield, phase shield at 7 for the Cleanse just to help your team survive that one-shot burst. So
a big thing to help with sustain for the side of Heroes of the Frat is that Zul took the sustain talents, the mana and the health back on creating skeletons. He'll be able to pop down into the lane and then jump right back into it after he clears it out. But we do have the next shrine phase here. It's 9-5 so far. Townix is down in the lane, positioned himself safely enough. Kyle C. Rat has to vault back. A ton of damage goes out on Leoric. The power slide is going to secure his escape for the moment, but that Kerrigan combo is dead serious. Going to net a kill on Johanna, and I think Zul's on the ropes as well.
3-man combo connecting there from better than yesterday. Huge gains. This might be the kills that they needed to really gain that advantage. They're probably going to clean up this shrine as well. We'll see if they decide to get healthy before they get the shrine. A lot of teams you'll see put it right to 39, make sure that everyone's full healed up, and then push their advantage with the boss. So it looks like they're going to just take it and probably, I'd say, group bottom and really push this advantage. It's actually interesting how I just noticed that Heroes of the Frat, with that double soak on Zul, has the experience lead even after this lost team fight. So the defense here is, you know, like I said before, they have a great defense on the fort. This game, even though it felt like it might have been kind of headed towards better than yesterday's direction, it's still pretty even. Even 10 picked up here first.
Yeah, I really feel like better than yesterday are kind of playing Heroes of the Frat's game. They have the engage. They have the more aggressive composition in ETC and Kerrigan, but their play has not really spoken to that or gotten the value, and we see what happens. The split soak from Zul is real. Both heroics are online. You're going to see the Reign of Vengeance comes down to Polymorph. Crystal Aegis to the rescue is going to save Kerrigan for a moment.
Resets. Here we go. Resets Li Ming. Nice orb, nice magic missile. Can't you get another one? It's gonna be a quadra kill coming out. Wow.
Li Ming goes bowling, closes out 4 members of Better Than Yesterday, and this is what I was worried about for them. Their passive play, allowing to effectively allow Heroes of the Frat to get to their heroics for free, because they haven't ventured on the other side of the map. They haven't played too aggressively, has really kind of emboldened this play. So the moment you see someone go down on the side of Better Than Yesterday, we've seen Li Ming knows how to play.
Yeah, it's always smells like trouble when a death happens when you're against the Li Ming. And in that case, middle, it definitely caused a lot of that. 4 kills coming out for Heroes of the Frat. We talked about that in the beginning too. If Li Ming finds resets, then it could just be catastrophic for Better Than Yesterday. So I really like that. And Brightwing actually, you know, going her own way, taking Blink Kill, very interesting. It's working out for her so far, so no complaints here. I like her. I like her style.
I mean, yeah, they're making it work. One of the things that's really cool about Chair League is that you do see some non-standard or not often seen picks every now and again, and these teams manage to find ways to use them to great success. They're about to be on their level 13 talents, the side of Heroes of the Frat. The next Shrine phase is here. To lose out on the early to mid game with this composition is really going to put Better Than Yesterday at a disadvantage.
Yeah, with that 13 talent being picked up, it's going to be very hard for them to fight. I will say that Kerrigan is still very strong on the Shrines, even when she is down in talent, because of her ability to sustain off of the zombies. One good combo in this case could still lead to a kill. Leoric taking a lot of damage here. Nice Entomb coming out on to the Zul. He does get pushed away. Kerrigan combo is going to miss. Leo does go down, but it's not the biggest of deals here, as he is going to be able to spooky his way back into this game onto the enemy team. So we'll see if the reset happens. A pick is super important here right now for Better Than Yesterday if they can find it. If not, they should just opt to soak, and that is what they're going to do. Just kind of soak the lanes, get that 13, and then defend on even talent tiers. So I like this from them.
Yeah, sometimes you...
Very decisive.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to get value somewhere else in the map. You have to concede, lose the battle, try to win the war later on. A very smart and conscious choice, but this is something the Heroes of the Frat have identified. The Siege Camp is picked up. One thing that's interesting about Better Than Yesterday's composition is that in that team fight, Leoric engaged with Entomb. And that's why he's kind of like this weird addition to this composition for me, because you have such a stronger option in the Power Slide and Kerrigan combo that when he puts that Entomb out there, he just gets rocked with Rain of Vengeance like we've just seen. Poison Nova goes out. Big Mosh.
Boss is gonna... The Punisher says not to the ATC. Actually jumping in, dropping the elbow. Gonna be coming down, picking up a quadruple kill. Li Ming maybe even picking up a penta. Not gonna be enough. Good try there from Vala as well. I don't know, you might be right, Halloran. The Entomb just not enough. It seems like it comes out. They have so much engage off of the ETC Kerrigan that maybe it wasn't the right choice here.
I mean, I was curious about Leoric's placement, not only in the composition at all, but at the order it was selected in the draft. And it just feels like every time Leoric puts this Entomb out, it's more or less saying, okay, blow me up. I'm going to be standing in one spot to try to body block, so go ahead and Rain of Vengeance my face. Like, it hasn't worked out for him so far.
Throw everything at me. I want to die. I'll be right back in 15 seconds. Kind of a punching bag. That's about it, though, at this point. You know, it's he's having a hard time. It is a very hard composition for Leoric to deal with. He has a hard time against mobility, and if we look at most of Heroes of the Frat's composition, there is a lot of mobile range damage with that Vala and Li Ming, so getting to those backline heroes is going to be an issue for him. And entombing something like Zul or Joanna, it's like you said, it's like, oh yeah, hey Zul, and Zul's like, oh hey, what's up, Leoric? You know, Poison Nova, Rain of Vengeance, it all comes down on top of him. So I think if at this point Better Than Yesterday wants to turn some of these fights, maybe they lead with that Entomb, pop the Kerrigan combo on top of it, or maybe Aegis most of the damage on the Leoric to maybe get some AoE damage out. It's going to be very hard. Obviously, they still have incredible shrines, so if they can find 16 here before the next shrine, that'll be great for them, and kind of aiding in this next skirmish. Without the 16 talent, it could be an issue. And as I say that, of course, the shrine's gonna be spawning in 23 seconds. So we'll see how they do this. I'd really like for them to proactively go at that Zul. He just showed he's by himself. Maybe his team's nearby, but they have the damage to kill him if they go at him as a team. ETC,
We'll see.
Playing up here.
ETC, Crystal Ages or not, you're not going to be able to escape that. ETC gets taken out down a talent tier. The 4v5 is just not on the table. I feel like the best thing for Better Than Yesterday to do is just concede this Punisher and get ready to make a stand at the bottom lane. With the bottom keep already taken down, with the bottom keep wall already taken down, even losing the bottom keep and forcing the retreat after that would be something of a victory here. I feel like they need to use Entomb, like the butterfly net after the engage. Power slide, mosh pit, Kerrigan combo as people start to back away, then throw out the Entomb. Keep them in place and secures kills that way with Chain Bomb and Kael'thas's AoE. If they're not able to execute that, they're going to have a tough time for the rest of this game.
I totally agree. And giving up a bot keep, although it's tough, it could, keep the game alive to the point that they catch the team fight that they really need to get back into this game. So when you lose a keep or concede a keep, you're not losing the game, right? And a lot of teams try to fight for this and just lose the game outright. So we'll see if Better Than Yesterday chooses to do that here, and if Heroes of the Frat will capitalize on it.
You're gonna see the Punisher jump in. Leoric does hit his E at the right time, but look at the chunk damage going out on him. Mara jumps in, just misses the Rain of Vengeance, and that orb, if that was a pixel or two up, that would have been a kill for sure. You're going to see Leoric go down after all. The bottom keep is down. The Arcane Punisher, healthy, continuing to rock and roll. I think this is going to be game, Mac.
It's not looking good for Better Than Yesterday. The Punisher wailing away. 5 people stacked up, smashing that core, and looks like it's going to be a GG for Heroes of the Frat.
Good game. Well played. At the end of the day, Heroes of the Frat were able to make it to that late game and get the full value out of their composition. The change to Vala's Rain of Vengeance played a big factor there. Only having the option to cast just one, and then if things go well, drop the other one was huge there. I go back to the point, Mac, that Better Than Yesterday really shorted themselves by allowing Heroes of the Frat to get to their heroics without any sort of harassment. They had a team fight composition. They had a gank composition, and they didn't really try to gank.
Yeah, they definitely played Heroes of the Frat's game. I would have really liked to see that Uther there on the 3rd pick instead of the Leoric. I think one thing I saw come up a lot was Zul would root the target like I talked about during the draft, and Li Ming would combo. And because they took the Ariel, there's no cleanse on that hero, right? So do you use Aegis to soak up that damage? And a lot of the time that decision is difficult and kind of brings a problem to the Ariel player. So we saw that there. The ETC would get rooted, and it's, do I Aegis him here or not? And he did it. He chose not to, and the damage was just too much for them. So they definitely needed a more aggressive approach maybe in the early game. And again, I think the Uther pick, having the cleanse, having the D-shield, makes it a bit easier for you to decide, oh, yeah, I can cleanse this, I can D-shield that, right?
Man, I mean, that's a really good point. It's just Better Than Yesterday. We're not able to get that engagement that they want. They had the tools there in their composition, but Heroes of the Frat were ready for it. They positioned themselves properly. Anytime we saw that Entomb go down, they were ready to respond with a bunch of damage from Vala and Li Ming. I mean, if I'm Leoric, like I would have felt scared to drop that Entomb at the start because it was just like just putting a target on your back. And then even ETC got called out in the top right part of the map before that shrine phase, and he got blown up. Just that burst damage was dead serious.
It was not something to mess with. Great play coming out from both teams, honestly. I really liked Better Than Yesterday's early game. They did win most of those shrines. I would have loved to see them press that advantage just a little bit harder.
Right.
And a great job from Heroes of the Frat. Obviously, sacrificing a few early game shrines and kind of playing off of that with that Zul, keeping the soak up, even winning to the level 10. Great play, honestly, from both teams.
Yeah, a lot of fun. That one goes down in the record books. Both teams played well, but Heroes of the Frat are going to come out on top. We do have another chair league game later on, but in the meantime, Mac and I were gonna look to cast some PPL. So I'm curious to see if there's any games that are or about to start up or in their initial phases that we could jump in. I reached out to Cure and Crone. I think they're. I know Crone. I'm pretty sure he's doing scrims or something like that.
Give me a second. We'll see if I can. I'll log in and see if there's any games going on.
Sweet. I'm looking at the. I got you, Isaac. I got you. Good old Mac and Ref.
Okay, so this game has been going on for 40 minutes. So
that game's still going?
No, it's a new one.
Oh, I was about to say.
I'm going to assume that it's probably ending soon, and we'll just hop in and just say what's up, and I don't think anyone will care. I'll just make sure to tell everyone that we'll make sure that they look really bad, and I'll call them out on all their mistakes. So they'll just be super excited for us to be watching them play.
Of course. So what we can do is we'll take a short break on my end. I'll put some music on, and then once we have the PPL game lined up, shouldn't be too long. We can keep rocking and rolling. It's been a lot of fun casting with McIntyre. First duo cast for the young man, the Mackin boy himself.
Yeah.
But we'll be back in a little bit. Don't go anywhere.
Perfect. Awesome. Trying to figure this situation out, so.